in the beginning, shin, ren. Usually people use shin, it's a little bit easier. So how it's again, stand there, secure the sword with the left hand. And now you have to kneel down. So kneeling down, in the Japanese traditional way, is getting your hip out here, the right hip. If you have a hakama like I do, you can push it backwards, it doesn't interfere with your cut. In your guy's case, it's not needed. Just like this. Bring the right knee down. And really the way you have to sit, and I'm not the best example, I like to be on my toes, like Takagi style. Traditional one at the beginning, when you do the cut, is really the usual shinzen, right? You should sit like this. But only at the beginning, then you will see, afterwards you will see you're always on your toes. The very beginning when you started traditional sitting position, which I do here as well. Okay, so I'm sitting. Now I'm waiting 3 seconds, my hands are like this. That's for meditating, concentrating. 1, 2, 3. Time and then we break it into the details. Back straight. Break it into details. So first, I explain how to sit. But basically, when you sit, you turn the right hip out. The feet is basically like perpendicular to the walking or to the front of me. Left knee stands, left knee goes down first. Right knee comes in. Sit down. Count to 2. Focus. Do it meditation. 1, 2, 3. I bring the sword forward like we did in the standing one, right? And while I'm opening it slightly up, I'm coming up to my toe steps. From here, as I do a kyaku keizagiri, I have to turn the sword. If you're more advanced, you turn the sword a little less, it's just a quicker cut. At the beginning here, turn it like 45 degree. Because remember, it's a 45 degree cut where I would basically cut your right lower arm up to the left neck. And then right foot forward, kyaku keizo. Now basically what we do from there, it's furikabori, to bring the sword back to the center line. Right foot goes back. So I'm ending up like this. And from here I'm doing a keizagiri to the left, which is pretty, I'm leaning basically in. So I'm cutting beyond my left knee, which comes forward. Should end up something like this. So keizagiri, remember it's a cut which comes on the 30-degree angle. Keep the back straight. That's the cut finished. Now you cut the opponent is down. Now we bring the sword back to the center line, and we're going up straight again. Blade is a little down, I count to 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Hand goes back, not a wing like when we stand. The arm is basically at the body here. And the sword is a little down. 1, 2, 3, not. So once I'm ending here, with the kisaki, I start to go back with the foot. First third of the sword goes in when I'm here, next third, and the last third when I'm basically in the end position. When I'm leaning or sitting on my heels, that's where the sword should go finally into the saya. So basically from standing, I have it like this, noto. So the sword ends up in the saya when I'm ending up in my final position, when I'm sitting. So that's how we do it. You will notice there's no chiburi. So Mugai Ryu has no Chiburi in the sitting kata. Yeah, only Chiburi in the standing kata. So no Chiburi here. Just bring the sword back. Once we are down here, I secure my sword again with the left arm. Right hand here below my hip. Take your time. 1, 2, 3. Right hand goes up and secures the pommel. And remember, in the standing one, we went along the heel. The tsuka, we don't do that in the sitting one. In the sitting one, the hand goes directly to the heel, secures it. And the cat foot thing, which I was talking about, right? When you stand up, right foot goes in front, pushing up, backwards. And then what you did before, Shizen, right? Nothing to say more. Short one more time and then we go to the questions. Okay.
As you're going for the shot, are you keeping your legs straight?
And I'm going for the kezagiri?
30-degree
Yeah,
shot?
kezagiri. Yeah, so I'm ending up in that position, right? Furikaburi. So it is over the hand. My left foot comes up. And it's like that movement here. Want to cut in front of my knee. The cut needs to be finished. Back should be straight, but I'm leaning forward. Because I want to cut the guy in a big kezagiri cut from his body down to the knee. And then from here, I pull up my body. At the same time, the blade goes back to the center line. And make sure you end up slightly lower than horizontal. That's how the position is. You count to 3. Ma. Timing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Position. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Can we see where your toes move through the kata?
Yeah, sure. So I'm down here, right?
Sure.
The beginning, the usual thing.
Yeah.
Toes.
That's one.
Turn. Kepekeza. You're sitting on the toes.
Okay.
You're not going back anymore in the initial
Gotcha.
position. Also, for me, it's much easier to stand up, right?
Yep.
So I'm sitting there. Just push myself up. And here I am. So the only time you ever sit in the full sitting position, like we do in the dojo as well, is the very first one.
Yep.
And it's always sitting on the heels. Always. And the feet are on the toes. I think it's also quicker if you do that. If you're on the toes, you have a much quicker movement if you want to cut. So that's also the reason why initially you start in the normal Shizen position, but then you push yourself up a little bit already to be ready to do the cut.
When you do noto, the mune, the spine, is it touching your left hand by the habaki, or is it halfway, or
It's like this.
about halfway? Okay.
Yeah, halfway.
Because I know some schools say start there
Like
at the
this.
beginning, halfway is
halfway.
more advanced, and then toward the end, last
Halfway,
third
and
is
then we pull it
even.
up a little bit until you get the kisaki into the koiguchi, and then you bring it down and push it in. First 50% fast, the rest really slow. That's the way we do it in Mugai multiple ways. You do it different way, I know, Mr. August.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
In the note, there's so many different ways how to do that, but that's how they teach it in Mugai.
Do they have the purpose of the slow, fast, like Joe Hakyu? Is it?
What they have is the timing, the ma, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of lets you know how quick you need to cut, where you pause, either to look, maybe for defense, and maybe you continue. But that's what we call it, ma, the timing.
When you do no-toe, is it quick, slow?
It's kind of it's down here. So I bring it around, right? Bring it over here. That's pretty quick. The first 50% is quick, or first 30%. You do the first one really quick, but then really slow. Push the saya forward until the sword is in, push it back. That's the way how we do it. So first part fast, but then slow it down until it's completely in the saya.
When do you think, I don't know the answer, that the zanshin starts? Is it maybe when the blade is going back in slowly, the opponent might be dead and you're assessing?
Yeah, I mean, that's the intent at least, when we always stay for like 3 seconds with the chibori, right? Because you want to make sure, I mean, it's standing, for example, right?
Yeah.
Then you make sure the guy's down, right? Might come up again, who knows? So you want to be sure no one stands up here anymore. Guy's down for good, and then you sheath the sword.
Thank you.
So that's just really observing the opponent, make sure he's done, or she's done, and then you finish it up. It's the same here, right? So when I'm sitting down, basically in this position, right? So for whatever reason, the uke comes up again, I can do something, right? From that position. So I'm still waiting, still observing before I really do no-toe. That's the intent. The timing, they have 3 seconds typically. It's not always 3 seconds. Sometimes you do a cut 1 second, quick pause, continue to cut. Sometimes it's 2 cuts very quick after each other, and then you pause. It depends on the kata. But typically, like, in the kata, when I show you, like, I cut the person, sword is down in that position, it's always 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then but on cut sometimes, can be immediately after each other, like we have one which is Ryuguruma, where 2 opponents attack me from 45 degree. Cut 1 time, quick cut, another quick cut, then you make a pause before you do the final cut. So it depends on the kata. That's why all the details are important. You have to memorize it all, right? And you have to follow it. You don't like Henka.
I love the idea of the pauses in between because Matthias, it's forcing you to be in the moment. You can't rush anything. Everything has a purpose and a meaning to it.
Be focused, because you never know, the person might stand up again.
Yeah.
You didn't really kill him or disable him. If you already sheathed your sword, you might be in trouble.
Don't you find too that the pauses in between give you the endurance to do these katas? They build your muscle and your flexibility up too, and your breathing.
That's one thing, and I like it also for the meditation point.
Yeah.
It calms things down.
Yeah.
Instead of hectic here and there, and done. No. It's a little bit of meditation aspect, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, about 20 minutes left. So exercise. I swing by. If you have any questions, you just let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sure.